talking about irrevocable. So when we're talking about this, you cannot control it. So who is controlling it? You should have a nonpartisan trustee, an excellent friend that you can trust, hire a trust company or somebody. But family members are the worst to be your trustee in an irrevocable trust. Trust me, I guarantee you, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's also defined by economic benefit. Okay, who's gonna benefit from the trust? If you're still benefiting from it, you don't own. I mean, the trust doesn't own it because you still have control of it and authority. If you still claim authority, that doesn't work. You still have authority over the trust, so no, the trust still can't own it because you cannot control it, you cannot benefit from it, and you cannot have authority over it. Once you can relinquish all that and walk away like you never owned it, but you can live there and, the trust will take care of the home to keep it where it doesn't lose value or anything else. There's one more myth, which is the biggest one out there right now on the market. I have read it, seen it, and I have been questioned about it a million times. Well, maybe not that much, but it seems like it. Okay, the next myth is a trust can discharge debt. Beep, wrong. Never will happen. Cannot do it. You cannot use the equity of your trust to write some sort of a document that they're pushing out there right now to show your accounting and your assets and write off the debt for a loan. It doesn't work. They want their money. Judgments. Oh, nope. The court will never accept your trust. Just charging it like it never existed, like a magic wand and waving it in the air and boom, it's gone. It doesn't work that way. When you have a debt and you signed a contract, you have a judgment against you, you have a loan against you, they're coming after your home, they're taking your car, and you run and just throw it into a trust and say, oh, ha, 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 they told me you can't have this. I'm protected, and my trust is discharging your debt, so go away. It doesn't work that way, I'm sorry. That is a magical dream that they're putting out there right at the moment because people are losing their homes. They're losing a lot because of the economy. But your trust is not the answer. I'm sorry. There's other ways to do this. Okay, so let's see what some of the traps of fraudulent transfers are. These are another reason your trust will fail, especially if you create it at the last second. So some of the red flags is transferring after debt exists, okay? So what does it mean to transfer after debt? So you have a massive debt, your house is in foreclosure, you run out and find one of these groups out there that wants to create an irrevocable trust for you. They're going to move that house into the trust. Then they're going to charge you for equity papers to claim that equity is protecting that and your trust is discharging your debt. That's an illusion, okay? It doesn't work. You cannot transfer that type of a debt into a trust and believe that it's protected. It doesn't work. So when the court sees that, the court is going to remove it immediately. Now, if you'd have created this trust 10 years ago and you had no debt on that house and all of a sudden you ran into problems, okay, the court's going to look at it in a different light. It's not the same way. Excuse me. So if we are transferring, we have a liability, it's foreseeable. A court looks very down on any of that because that is just plain out and out theft. I'm sorry. It's deceit. It's deceitful. It's thievery and everything else. Let's do things the correct way. When we do things correct, we're protected for life. If we do things under the table or like this, it's not a good deal. Okay, so what trusts actually do and they don't do. So what can the trust do for us? It can reallocate ownership under the law. Okay, what does that mean? We reallocate our ownership to our home under the law into our trust, and now that home is in our trust and our children are the beneficiaries of the home. So when we pass, the home goes directly to the children. And we arranged it through the deed of death and deeds of the trust and everything else that we're going to transfer the home. We imposed our fiduciary control to somebody else, and we have limited personal authority. Means we do not have a lot to say. Our trust can take care of us. There is sections in the trust where we will write certain things, especially when we get older. There is a way that we can use that trust to literally have the trust give us so much money per month or help us pay our medical bills, because that's why we did this. Okay? So what does it not do? It doesn't erase your obligations. It doesn't eliminate creditors. It doesn't override statutes. And it doesn't create total immunity. A trust will never do that. So the realistic functions of a trust: to reallocate ownership under the law, impose fiduciary control, limit personal authority. Okay. Excuse me, it's kind of a duplicate. Somebody sent me these beautiful panels today, and so I tried to put them together, and it looks like I got a double panel in there. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so what you should understand about today. So we went over irrevocable trust is just a label. Separation is the mechanism. So labels do not override facts or conduct. Marketing language, shielded, locked, has no legal force. Understanding the law comes before using the tool. So, I guess I doubled this one too because I like these so much. It was so hard to choose the panels. One of the people in the class, he goes by the screen name King Richard. He sent me 4 or 5 different panels today about our class, because he asked me if he could, redo them, because he does graphic designs and stuff. And he just did an amazing job and told me to choose the panels that I wanted. So I split them all up and chose the ones I wanted for our class today. Because mine are a simple PowerPoint project. I mean, I'm going to put it up here. It's a simple PowerPoint that I created some images for, and basically it's just the same thing as this one, but the images here and the way it was presented just look so much nicer. Thank you, Richard, King Richard. Okay, so we're done with this part of the session. So in our next session, which we will talk about when you guys want to do it, we can do it every Saturday. We can do it like on Saturdays, Wednesdays, but during the week, I think people have so much going on their plate. I think Saturdays is probably the best. I chose 7 o'clock Central Time because that's what Floyd does normally. We can change the time anytime you want, but realize that somewhere on the East Coast, I'm 6 hours behind you guys. So if it's a good at noon, it's 6 o'clock in the morning my time. So we got to try to get a good time for all of us. Okay. So our next session, which I already have the class prepared, it's going to be part 2. We're going to understand how irrevocable trusts come under scrutiny, what triggers enforcement, why collapse follows predictable patterns. Okay, and this is up there. And he put down what was on our website because I just redid the website. He put down the new classes and things that are coming up. Okay, so here we go for today, guys. Okay, that's my presentation for you today. So now I'd like to open the discussion for all people who have questions. Just be, just do it one at a time. You guys can figure it out. I don't need to control you. Okay, it's open for discussion. Any questions about what we just went over?
Does everybody know how to raise their hand or anything?
Pardon?
I was know how to raise their hand. I'm trying to see if that's available in Telegram.
Oh, maybe you guys have to click on your name and unmute yourself to talk. Because it says everyone's listening.
No questions?
I have a question.
All right. Come on with it.
Okay.
We talked about like the car and the house being put in the irrevocable trust. Are we going to discuss how when you change your car and your house, like if you move to a different house or purchase a different automobile, how that works within the irrevocable trust?
Okay. Usually I would never, ever suggest anybody to put a automobile into an irrevocable trust because the automobile is a liability. In my opinion, it is a definite liability for one reason only is because if you get in a car accident and that automobile is in a trust with all of your assets and there's some really bad issues, really bad medical problems and things like this, they can come after your trust. An automobile needs to be put into a trust by itself. It's considered an express trust. That way, if you have a car accident and the automobile is in a trust with nothing else there, they can't touch any of your other assets. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that's what I was thinking, and that's why I was surprised to see that on the slide. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, I put this on the slide because that's what a lot of people are talking about. So what I'm trying to do is show what is reality and what is not reality. Okay, so some of the things that people are saying you can do is not possible. But in an irrevocable trust, I have never told anybody to put a car. A home, yes. But then if you put your home in the irrevocable trust, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put stipulations in that trust. your trust totally liable. It's better to do a very small express trust and only put the vehicle in the express trust. Yeah.
Are you going to cover the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts at some point? Like specify, what the actual differences are and when you would want to do one versus the other?
Yes, we are going to be doing these classes all the way down. What I'd like to do is, since the first of the classes, I set up a three-session class to cover the myths of irrevocable trust. After that, I'd like to have all my students or all the people on this channel, please feel free to write what you're interested in, and we'll vote on it as for the classes. And we'll set up the classes one a week where everybody has a say-so in what we learn.
Are you saying that if you set up an irrevocable trust, that you cannot be the trustee?
Oh, I'm absolutely correct. You cannot be the trustee in an irrevocable trust. It's against the law. It's against all trust law.
So with an irrevocable trust, if let's just say we had set something up like that with a trustee, we have to find a neutral third party to be the trustee.
My suggestion is to find a mutual third party. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because I have helped certain people who had an irrevocable trust that hired or let their family be the trustee of the irrevocable trust. And when the parent died, it was a disaster for the other beneficiaries because the person who was in charge of the trust stole from the trust, and it was a mess in the court, and it took 5 years to clean up. That's the only reason I'm saying that I would literally choose somebody else. I chose somebody else. I decided not to allow my daughter to be my trustee for my irrevocable trust, and I chose another person to be it. And I feel more safe and secure that way. I just know that I know my daughter wouldn't do anything. She's my only child, but it's just the principle behind the situation, and especially the way courts look at things.
Right. So with some people that might be like a kind of something hard, because especially if they're single or whatever, they have to like, who can I trust? Who would I trust to put all these assets in control of? So I see. Now that's different. What you're saying, that's different with a revocable trust. A revocable trust, we can be the trustees.
Correct. You are the trustees of your revocable trust.
Okay, and then I think it was on slide 2 or 3 at the very beginning. You said like they're basically courts look at like if you're kind of if I forget what it said, but so forgive me if I'm not quoting correctly, but it said something like if it doesn't retain, basically if there's not separation from the creator, I think the slide said, then they'll pierce it. That's only for irrevocable. So with a revocable, there doesn't have to be that separation.
No, irrevocable is different because everybody knows what they say. A revocable trust is a trust that you can revoke any time of your day or night as long as you're alive. And revocable means that you contain control over it because it's also called the living trust. But irrevocable is not a living trust. It's a trust where you put assets that you do not want to lose, you do not use, and you want to leave them for somebody else. That's the trust you put all of your valuables in.
Got it. Okay. All right.
And as you were talking about trustees, Floyd has been trying to figure out how in our group, we could set up a trustee type of an office or bureau to help people with their irrevocable trust. We haven't figured it all out yet, but we're still looking into it.
Got it. Here's a question. What if you had another entity that you, I'm just going to say, like, let's just say you had another legal vehicle entity that you sat on the board of, but that legal vehicle entity, could that legal vehicle entity be the trustee of the trust?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of legal entities that are trustees of a trust. I mean, people literally hire a lawyer to be a trustee of their trust. There's different trust companies. Take, for example, Alaska. Alaska has its own, separate trust companies. Delaware has trust companies. Nevada has trust companies. There's a lot of people out there, especially because there's only certain states that allow certain type of trust, like a dynasty trust. And so these states, because people live in different states, they're out-of-state residents, they hire these trust companies to run their trust.
So, I know a lot of people, perhaps on this channel, want to stay away from attorneys because they know about that, so they want attorneys to get involved. But what you're saying is,
I get it.
There are other legal entity vehicles that you can appoint to be the trustee, and you can be on the board of that legal vehicle entity, which is then appointed as trustee, and that would not pierce the veil.
That's getting a little technical on that one, I'll be honest with you. I would not think that a court would look favorable to you being on the board of trustees, because that is still, you have say-so in your trust. It has to be completely separated.
Okay. What if the legal vehicle entity had a separate, tax ID number and everything, even though the legal vehicle had a separate tax ID and everything, and you appointed it as trustee, but you sat on that legal vehicle board, that would still be a no-no?
Exactly. Because you still have a say-so. You're not separated. It doesn't matter what you're saying. It's what a lot of people are trying to get away with right now. And it's completely illegal because you are still part of that trust. Even though you put this legal entity as the trustee of the trust, when you start looking into that legal entity, you are still part of that legal entity. You can't do it. You have to be 1,000% separated. It has to be a brick wall, and you cannot have anything to do with it whatsoever.
Can I ask a question?
And again, this is just for the irrevocable. It would be different for revocable. Like the entity can do that for the revocable, just not the irrevocable.
May I ask?
Right, revocable doesn't. Yeah, can we? Okay, yes, you can ask a question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You keep talking legal, right? Most of us are lawful. We live in the private. So how does like a constitutional trust fall into any of this? Are you aware of anything that, because again, we're lawful, not legal. We've changed our status we're on this land of civil jurisdiction again. So can you kind of go into that aspect, please?
Okay, there is a lot of people out there that talk about non-statutory trust and statutory trust. So you have a choice if you want to make a statutory trust or a non-statutory trust. Even though people are considered lawful legal, as you are calling yourself, and if something happens to you and you're not...
We're lawful, not legal. We don't fall under their government.
Okay, Okay. I can agree and I can agree to disagree with some of that for the simple reason I've seen a lot of trust written as you're talking about still fall under the legal jurisdiction because it comes under the state statutes. And a person that does not or has a beef against you or wants to file a lawsuit against you, doesn't matter if that trust is considered lawful. It doesn't matter if it's considered legal. Anybody can attack it. They can still take you to court and you still have to go through the jurisprudence of court. Well, I've seen it happen.
Is that a myth when it says that nobody's allowed to know what's even in your trust? Not to know beneficiaries? Is that a myth too?
No, people, and that is a definite, not a myth. Your trust is private. It's completely private. It is your business. It is your trust. What anybody sees at a bank, or if you want to buy a car or anything else, all they see is a certificate of trust. There is no identification of who's the beneficiary, who you leave your affairs to, what you have in your trust, and how much your trust is worth. There's none of that, none of it. But if you try to do something with your house, moving it into the trust, and you still own money on that house is not protected. That house still belongs to the creditor. And you default on that house, they're going to come after you, whether your trust is lawful, legal, or any other way. If that house is sitting in that trust and you're under foreclosure and they take you to court, they're going to break that trust no matter what. It doesn't matter because they want that house out of it.
So basically, the worry mostly is your home. For the most part.
It's okay. Mostly, yes.
Not for your asset as far as
any of your current assets, as long as you own your assets and you legally transfer them. It doesn't matter about lawful legally. It has to be legally done. Okay? It has to be legally transferred out of your name into the trust name. It's like I hand you $1,000 and you now hold on to my $1,000 inside your safe of your home and you can't touch it. And when something happens to me, I gave you the instructions of what to do with that $1,000. Now, once I die, you take my $1,000 and now you find 3 people and you give them each their money. That's how it works in a trust. Okay, I'm just being simplified.
That's very simplified. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. I'm stupid. Sorry.
No. That's where there's a lot of myths right now. This legal stuff, the way they're writing the trust, the way they're writing the introduction to the trust. I mean, I had a person send me a trust that, I mean, it was so ridiculous that I mean, it was really hard to understand what he wanted. It took me 3 weeks to get it out of him what he really wanted to do with his trust. But the guy, I felt sorry for him, paid $3,000 for that document that he couldn't even use. And it was a shame. It was sad to see some of the stuff that people are writing in these documents right now.
Well, thank you for
next question.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Let me break in for a minute, Ann. Due to, my platform and Ann producing the classes and the books and the videos, we talk to a lot of people behind the scenes. I would say 95% of it you never even hear of. And you can YouTube the Roger Hilligist story, Hillegist, I believe it is. And you can see how Roger's parents set up a trust through an attorney. his sister, Roger's sister, decided she didn't want to wait for her parents to pass away. So she got in cahoots with the attorney. They raided the trust, ended up putting the parents in an assisted living. They passed away. Roger ended up going to jail. Stuart Hanty, who's a former Nevada County sheriff, tribal sheriff, and Nevada State Trooper, who just happened to be sitting in the attorney's office, they had the same attorney, and decided to help him. And now Stuart is going to court for just helping somebody that he met in a lawyer's office. So when we tell you we've heard the horror stories, we've seen the evidence. This is why I tell everybody about a health directive in your final will. If it's not fraud proof, it's easily counterfeitable. If somebody printed it on a laser jet printer with inkjet, use Times Roman, it's in black on just basic white copy paper, I can counterfeit that in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, folks. So that's why I tell you all,
But I'm gonna.
if you want to protect everything, you have to be better than the average bear. You have to learn. Now, is your trust going to be impenetrable? Listen, fraud and corruption will beat anything. I don't care what you have in place. So that's what you're trying to prevent, is not get caught up in their machinations. Because when you go in and you start arguing, oh, I'm legal, I'm lawful, I've corrected my status, I'm this, I'm that, they're just going to look at you with that blank face and go, yeah, sovereign citizen. That's how easy that is. And once you're labeled a sovereign citizen in court, you're going to play hell to get out of it. Because I'm consulting multiple people right now who've been in, or got themselves in this situation by listening to these gurus. So if you've ever heard of the term complex irrevocable trust, there's no such thing as a complex irrevocable trust. Somebody got cute and added complex before it, so it would confuse you and you would think that it's like some extraordinary trust that you can't find anywhere. You can't find it because it's just a simple, plain, irrevocable trust. So y'all don't get caught by the okie doke, and don't get caught with your pants down. Keep anybody that's related to the bar, keep them out of your trust. Family office, finding a trustee, those are the two most difficult things that you're ever going to do with your trust. Setting it up's easy. Learning how to run it's easy. Putting everything in it's easy. Assigning beneficiary or all the parties, that's easy. Finding somebody you can trust to execute what you need done, that's the difficult part. So it's always been my goal to create a family office for people like ourselves who want to get out of the matrix, but don't want to go into court and have to, stand up and defend ourselves and our position, our status. Because I will tell you this, 90% of the people that are teaching you this stuff have never been in court. They don't know how to act in court. They don't have any record to prove they've been in court. And if you want to know if they're telling you the truth, go look at their legal record and read their legal record. That'll tell you everything you need to know about them, how smart they really are. Most of these idiots are going to get people in trouble and executed on the side of the road. I promise you, especially as idiots selling license plates and passports. Oh, I can't wait till that happens. So I'll digress. If anybody needs anything, I can always be reached at the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com or my phone number, 346-971. You know the rest. Thank you.
Man, we love you.
Thank you, Floyd.
And
Thank you so much, Floyd. I didn't think you were going to make it today from your message you sent me. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so Floyd is telling you guys the truth. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm involved in a court case. Well, I was in like 3 court cases in the last 2 to 3 years. It's been hell. It's been horrendous. It's one of reasons that I haven't been around so much. Plus another reason was I was supposed to be starting a project that never panned out. We won't talk about that, but I'll be honest with you guys, it's not fun. And when I'm talking about legal, lawful, this, that, and everything else, and all the trusts that I've read and all the court cases that I've viewed, and I'm helping a lady who is actually 86 years old right now, going after her son, went after her trust. And because he was listed as a trustee and it's a revocable trust, he decided he was going to just take over the whole trust as it was. But you see, it all happens because people are not keeping their trust up to date. They're not understanding what the real trust is and how they work. Okay, next question, please.
If I have a vehicle in a express trust, can my irrevocable trust own that?
You know, I'll be honest with you, your irrevocable trust, there is no reason for an irrevocable trust to own a vehicle. None whatsoever. I don't see any reason for it. The irrevocable trust should own your life insurance policy, your stocks, your 401ks, your insurance policies, your gold, your silver, some of your investment accounts. That's what should be in an irrevocable trust. A car should be in an express trust. We'll go over express trust when we get further into the classes. But I guarantee you, an express trust, you would put a car in it, and it would be the only thing in that car, in that trust.
Yes, but can the irrevocable own that express trust? So that I'm staggering it inside.
Okay, you don't want it to. You don't want a car associated at all with an irrevocable trust. Okay. Consider this. You drove that car. You got tired. You dozed off at the wheel. You got in a car accident. Somebody died. That family of that person who died can come after you. And they won't. And if that car is in that revocable trust, irrevocable trust, or whatever trust it's in, that all of your assets are in, every single thing that you own is in there, they're going to take it all away from you and strip you down to zero, because that's what they can do. That's why I'm saying you keep a car out, away from any trust you own. You put it in a separate trust all by itself, because that vehicle, you'll probably have it 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Then you're going to sell it. You're going to buy a new one. You don't want to put something like that in an irrevocable trust.
Never get it out.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I have a quick question regarding the motorcycle. That should be also by itself express trust as well then, same reason?
Any type of a vehicle, an off-road vehicle, a motorcycle, a scooter, even a boat, I would keep them in express trust, to be honest with you. I wouldn't put them in my irrevocable trust, or I wouldn't even put them in a revocable trust. I keep them completely separate.
By themselves. Thank you.
Yeah, by themselves, exactly.
Can you please provide on what kind of trust you should have different kind of assets or benefits?
Okay, we're going to be going through these different kinds of trust, and today we're just speaking about irrevocable trust. The reason I started with it was because there's been so much hype recently about how irrevocable trusts are the God of all trust, that you can save your life and you can discharge your debt and you can do all kinds of things with it. Nobody can touch you with the trust or anything else. And I wanted people to know the truth. So we started off with this. The next class, we have 2 more classes to finish up this. Then after that, I was thinking of doing the really important class, how to tie everything together to make sure your trust can never be broken, which would be your pour over will. And I was thinking to do the 4th class on pour over. And after that, I was open for all kinds of suggestions from the group, what you guys want to learn. That's why we're here. We're here to teach you what you want to learn.
And this is, I have a quick question. We're going to go over foreign grantor trusts and also something called private equity trusts.
We'll be going over all of them. There's so many trusts out there. You guys will be amazed at how many trusts there is out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a quick question. I don't know if you saw my long-winded question sort of in the chat.
I haven't had a chance to read the chat yet. I'm sorry.
So I think when I hear you mention people specifically addressing, oh well, this irrevocable trust or whatever and they use the word discharge and all that kind of stuff in regards to their relationship with accounts, right? So
correct.
What I'm comprehending is that actually that one that's created at the birth event, right? The birth event irrevocable trust that's like system created status-based trust versus what this class is specifically talking about is the voluntary one that you yourself create. Correct?
Right. Okay. So basically, when we talk about, I don't want to get into the birth control trust and the birth trust and all this other stuff, because my opinion is this: whoever created the trust, they're the ones who funded it. They put the money into it. The money belongs to them. They wrote it. We have nothing to do with it. So I just stay away from it. These trusts are what we write. These are about our assets, what we own as of today, and our personal saves, our homes, whatever we own, we have it with us. These trusts deal with that. I hope that helps.
Regarding,
it's just that a lot of those things were obtained using the structure's identification. So it's like you're using that identification that comes from that involuntary created trust to obtain these things. And so it's like how exactly do you surgically remove and sort of like get it completely separate from that, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's where I get stuck, and so I yield.
Okay, so Floyd kind of went over that. I think Floyd is going to talk right now, so I'm going to let him talk. He was telling us basically just a little while ago, you're going to go into court and claim all that. The court's going to look at you and call you sovereign citizen, and you're going to have a hell of a time getting out of it.
Right. You don't.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I understand.
Okay, that wasn't what I was talking about. But I was talking about so you have a home. You used all of the stuff that you were given through your birth created event, and you use that to get this property, right? And then now how do you strategically, so it's paid for, it's all set, it's all free and clear. There's no liens on it or whatever. How do you then take that and place it into a voluntarily created trust that doesn't have any, strings attached to it? That's what I'm asking about.
Okay, hang on. Let me get.
Okay.
Ann, hang on. Let me make sure that we're clear on this. So basically, what you're trying to do is access the birth certificate bond trust. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
No, you have identifiers that you've been operating saying, I am that corpus, and unfortunately you have brought that into and connected it with your real value. Like you actually went to work, you worked really hard, you invested in labor, you obtained these assets. Okay. And now these assets have all of those attachments. They have, they're connected to other identifiers that you need to get off in order to place it cleanly within your voluntary trust.
Define identifier.
That's where I get stuck.
Define identifier.
Your signature, everything. and everything signed has been securitized. So how do you go about that? How do you explain that away? It's basically is what I believe Maine Pottery is trying to pass.
Okay, you're breaking up. I didn't catch any of that, but let me tell you this. Okay, last night.
He's talking about her signature.
Yeah, that's the most valuable asset you own, because that gets you into all the wrecks you've gotten into. The problem is this, and this is why I tell everybody change their name. You're not changing their name. You're correcting the record, because all these years you've been signing your name to your abbreviated name because some person behind the counter is too lazy to write out your full name. And you've acquiesced to all these different aliases through the years when you were a kid, all that. Nobody has a middle initial. Nobody's parents gave them a middle initial unless your name's JP or something like that, or JD. Okay, so there's the first problem. You need to go in and correct everything and disassociate yourself from all the aliases. That's what I've done. I went and changed my name to my full fucking name. That's it. Now, I got on the phone last night with a conference call, me and 3 other people. Leslie Keith Mullings, you can look him up, lesliekeithmullings.com. He's with the Assurance Bonds. I also am talking to a former bank forensic auditor, who I have not brought on my show. I'm still talking to him. He knows the complete other side. And because of him doing that, he knew something was going on our side. But he didn't know it because he didn't know anything about this private process bullshit. So I got him on the phone with another guy who's heavily entrenched in the private process and is utilizing bonds. So we're going to get into all that. I will bring these people on here. And again, I'm going to apologize, and I'm going to apologize for Ann because I know she already said it. We were involved in the RV. We thought the RV was going to happen. We got strung along just like everybody else. And guess what? We're done with that. We're back. We're going to teach you guys how to operate in trust, privately, in public, and be able to fund it. So if we can move on from that and create a family office with this community, that would be fabulous. I would love that. My goal for 2026, and y'all should look at it like this. We need to get off all the smart devices, all the apps, and out of the conventional financial system. If you're in any of that, you're going to get caught in the matrix and you're not going to get out, period. End of freaking story. Trust me when I tell you this. AI is going to come take over everything. I'm going to do a video and I'm going to edit all the talks that they had over at Davos. And when you hear all this put together, like Elon Musk coming out and saying, I'm an alien. Nobody believes I'm an alien. I'm from the future. And I'm going to send my conscience to Mars. When the richest man in the world's telling you that over and over and over, and you're not believing him, there's probably a disconnect somewhere. And if you listen to these people talk, they're telling you what's coming. And it's a one world religion, a one world economy, one world government, one world currency. End of story. Just like he said, law takes books. We don't need books anymore. We have AI. Lawyers don't need them. Got AI. Laws don't need them. Got AI. Got AI for everything. Insurance claims, medical processing, AI is coming. It's going to take over everything. And this is where we're at. If you're not out of the matrix and you're not protected, there's no way you're going to get out of the matrix unless you just walk away from everything, because you're going to be tied into everything. You haven't cut yourself loose while you have time to cut yourself loose. Now, is this going to be tomorrow, next day, 5 years, 2030? I don't know. All I know is the people with an open mind and can see clearly and hear clearly will not perish for lack of ignorance. So get prepared. If you don't know what's coming, go watch some of my videos on AI, robotics, the surveillance state, and I break it down for you, folks. Seriously, I'm terrified for this country because they've allowed it to become a third world country. And we've lost cities, we've lost towns, counties, and states. Just look what's going on in Minneapolis. We literally have a civil war in the United States of America. Nobody's acknowledged it. Nobody's calling it that, but we have a civil war. We're already in World War III. We're in a proxy war with Russia. There's a civil war going on in Iran. Trump wants to go bomb Iran again. For what? I don't know. But Trump wants to meddle. He wants to tariff. He wants to sanction people. And all these other countries, especially the BRICS consortium, they're going to get off the dollar and U.S. Treasury securities. And believe me, folks, if you go look at the videos of the Obama administration when that fool was sending pallets of $100 bills to the Middle East, as well as George W. Bush, and the CIA contractors were taking them out into the hills, talking to these Bedouins, chiefs, and handing them bricks of $100 bills. And they were like, what the hell are we going to do with this? Use it for firewood? We can't spend any money out here. We need goats. Survivability. So all those dollars that are floating around across the world are coming home. They're coming in the United States. Why do you think silver has just now outpaced the dollar bill? You've lost 100% of your value of your money in America, and the rest of the world knows it. And they're going to divest themselves of dollars. And if you're caught behind the wheel or behind the 8 ball, you're going to get slaughtered. And that's why I tell, I just have such a hard time operating society because people are just so freaking stupid. It's amazing how stupid people are. They're unaware. They don't care. They're chasing everything. They just like, oh, let's go find out what's going on in Minneapolis. Who cares what's going on in Minneapolis? It doesn't affect you and your community. It doesn't affect you and your family. It doesn't affect you and your assets. And if you're on this video and you're listening, thank God I may get through to you. But and I just did this. I went through my whole entire house, the attic, every bedroom, living room, kitchen, every cabinet, every drawer. And if I didn't use it, don't want it, guess where it went? To the auction house. And I got rid of it. Why? Because those are dead assets. They're liabilities. I'm going to turn those into assets. Even if I have to buy silver at $200 an ounce, that money's going into an asset. That's how you should be looking at things. How can I get out of my circumstances? And I know some of you can't. You're in your job, you're in your pension, or you're going through some medical issues and you have to stay in your community. But you folks need to wake up and be aware of what's on the horizon. And I tell everybody, just go read the AI Plan for America, published July 2025. That's the plan, folks. That's the trust the plan. And there will be nothing to stop the United States of America becoming the alpha AI of the world. And if you want to know who's running that, just go look at all the wealthiest people in the world, like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Elon Musk. Should I go on down the list? Because Larry Ellison of Oracle now owns TikTok, folks. And he wants your DNA so he can create personalized gene-edited medicines and vaccines strictly for you. That's where we're at today. Y'all, please wake up and be aware. Most people don't want to know what's going on. They don't care. And I can't help those folks. And I'm going to let them perish because that's their choice. If you're over here, you're awake and you're going in the right direction. Stay in the right direction. And listen, I don't care if you get a trust from me and Ann, and I've said this repeatedly on all my shows all the time. Get a trust, set it up, and get it operational. And put your assets in trust and put somebody in there that you can trust to be a trustee. And don't make it a family member. The family member will rip your head off. Don't make it an attorney because their allegiance to the bar, not to the client. Because when you hire an attorney, you're telling the court system, I'm mentally incompetent to handle my own affairs. This is why when Trump was hiring lawyers to represent him in the civil RICO and his other criminal matters, I'm like, he's telling everybody he's mentally incompetent. How can he be president? I digress.
There is one way to keep trust out of courts, and I've done it for quite a few people. There is in all trusts, there is codes that give the court's jurisdiction. What you need to do is find the places in the trust that do this, and instead send it to an arbitration and have arbitrators arbitrate your decisions instead of the court. That's what I do to a lot of people, and it works really well. Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
Can you explain that again?
Oh, okay. In certain clauses in all trust, whether it's an irrevocable trust, a dynasty trust, asset trust, foreign trust, there is clauses in it for the courts and how the court has jurisdiction over your trust. What I do is I eliminate all jurisdiction from the court. Now, keep in mind, when you have a trust, you have to have a way to dispute that trust in order to keep it legal. So the only way most people understand is to go to court to fight over the trust. But what you can do in your trust is eliminate the court completely and instead put in an arbitrator and hire an arbitration group or name an arbitration group. In every county, every state, they have arbitration groups for courts that handle divorce, real estate, I mean, all kinds of stuff. And what I do is I put arbitrators inside my court documents that I help other people create. It works really well to keep your stuff out of court. Okay, we're about 20 minutes over the hour. So next Saturday, is it a good time to meet next Saturday at the same time? Or would you guys like to change the time, a different time?
Oh, good. Good time's good.
Okay, so why don't we keep this, go ahead, I'm sorry. Moonbow, you were talking, I interrupted you, I'm sorry.
No, I just said I'm good for the same time.
Okay, so we will meet next Saturday. I will put up notification here. I already gave you the lesson plan for today. As soon as we close the chat right now, I will upload the recording to the chat or to the channel here so you guys can have the recordings also. Any questions you have for us, anything you guys would like to talk about, put it inside the chat and we'll start scheduling. I'll start making a schedule. So let me know what you guys are interested in and I'll try to do a schedule for the next 2 months so we know what we're going to start studying. That'll give me a time to do the lessons also.
I did place it there in the chat feed, my message and my question, because I really don't feel like it kind of got addressed at all. So if you wouldn't mind looking at what I placed there and maybe answering me directly, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, where did you place it? I mean, I'm just trying to look.
Under Ann's Trust Works Group.
Okay, I'm in Ann's Trust Work Group. What name? I'm sorry, what was your name? I'm not looking at.
It's placed under Main Pottery.
Main Pottery. Okay, I'll try to find it here. Okay, I see where it is. Okay, birth event. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Okay, I'll try to answer that. And do you mind if I just send you the message direct instead of with the group?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Well, I think I would like
okay.
Your question as well.
Okay, I mean, I don't mind answering it here.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, I'll just send the response here. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I need to leave. It's like some places it's 4 to 6 hours. You guys are 4 to 6 hours ahead of me, and I need to start to get ready to cook dinner and stuff like that this evening.